Welcome back, everybody. It's Tanner with Built Not Bought. If you saw my previous video, I built this pergola. Now we're going to try and screen it in to help us prevent mosquitoes from eating us alive in the evenings and also to add a little bit more shade in the afternoons. And of course, we pick a super windy day to try and do this. You can see us trying to fight the tarp getting blown back towards us. But I bought some furring strips and I'm using my brad nailer to kind of pinch this sunshade between the rafter of the pergola and that furring strip. And this is going to really secure it so that when the wind is ripping like it usually does up here in North Dakota, this sunshade doesn't go anywhere. With the help of my wife and minimal swear words, we were able to get this thing up in a matter of about 15 to 20 minutes. I picked up this cordless brad nailer a couple years ago and I use it all the time. It's one of my most used tools and it was perfect for this job. We didn't need to have a cord out there or a compressor and it made quick work of this project.
All right, I shaved my beard off, so I know I look a little funny, but the pergola is coming along. The goal is to get everything screened in because in the evening, the mosquitoes are terrible out here. We kind of live in a little bit of a slough, swampy area. We've got the ceiling on, and we just got this wall on, which is the west wall. And we're loving it so far because it's blocking the wind this morning. It's gusting to 25 miles per hour. In the pergola, it's calm and it's really comfortable still. So we started in the top. I grabbed screws with washers and we went right along the top edge all the way down. The washers keep the screw from ripping out of this fabric. And then we went all the way down both sides and then we went down in the center and we're going to test this out. If we feel like when the wind switches and it starts blowing from that direction towards me, if we see this kind of like pillowing out from that wood or from that wind, we'll add some more screws here and here. We're just testing this out to see if it works for now. Although we're happy with how this all went on there, it's nice and tight and it looks good from the inside. We didn't want to drive up into our yard and see just a black tarp here covering up all this beautiful wood and the cool details of the pergola itself. So we're trying to get the screen on the inside, and we had it up for a day or so on the inside permanently, and we didn't really love looking at it during the day because the mosquitoes aren't bad during the morning and afternoon. It's in the evenings where they come out. So the idea is to create some sort of a system where we can roll this up and unroll it somewhat easily. So to do that, I purchased a roll of fabric and then like 10 of these buckles on Amazon for like $5. And then I got a roll of Velcro. And the thought process is that I'm going to permanently attach one edge to this interior beam with screws and washers like I did outside here. And then if you've ever seen a tonneau cover on a pickup, that's where I got this idea from. So I'm gonna fold a pipe to the bottom of a PVC pipe to the bottom of the curtain, and that pipe is gonna be used to roll this up. And then I got these buckles. One is going to be permanently fastened up top, and the other one will be fastened to the fabric itself. And the hope is that once it's all the way rolled up, we can buckle these two together and it'll just sit up there. A ton of thought has gone into this, probably more than needed. And I'm trying to do this on a tight budget. So let me know in the comments below if you would have done something way different or if you think I'm a moron. I just hope we can get this to work somewhat. We'll see. Top is fastened. This was 12 feet and our pergola was 12 feet outside to outside. So we have some excess and we're folding it back behind right now. And then we're using this Velcro tape, kind of expensive, but it seems really heavy duty. And I cut a few strips like this and we're just using that Velcro to hold this flap together. You can see the overlap here. Bree's on the other side, working her magic, getting that secured. To get that done, I've got a PVC pipe. I might fill it with sand eventually or add some weight to it somehow. And the idea is we're going to permanently attach that to the bottom of the screen and then just roll it up and then use these buckles to secure it up and out of the way, because most of the time it's going to be up only in the evenings. When we're out here, if we have company over, we'll unroll it. So we cut little strips of one side of the Velcro that are the width of this panel, and we put them on here. So every other panel has a strip. And then we did the female end of the Velcro full length all the way down, so we didn't have to worry about lining this up. So right here's like the male and female meeting together, making love, if you will, all the way down. A little bit of a gap at the bottom, but I think we can scrunch it over. And we're going to repeat that on this side. Okay, here's the other side. We went with every other. It's not permanent, and we didn't want it to be too tough to peel off. So then on the mating side, instead of little strips, we're just doing the full length. Is gonna be one solid piece. That way we weren't like trying to guess and having to measure where all of these are gonna land on here. It just, wherever it hits, it makes contact and connection. All right, so we want to cut out some of this slack at the bottom, and then we want to add some weight to it so that this doesn't flap around in the wind. So the idea is we're going to roll this up and over and then screw it with these washers and screws to the pipe, and then we can fill this pipe with like rocks or sand and then cap it off if we feel like it needs more weight. The pipe itself is decently heavy, but I've got a feeling we might have to shove some rocks in there or something as well. But I'm going to roll this up and then fasten it to the tarp. Okay, I just fastened all of these to the pipe, and then I'm going to take up all this slack because this tarp was longer than we needed it to be. So I'm going to roll up all this slack, and then I'm going to fasten it again with more screws wherever it sits nicely on the ground. So I rolled it up so that we got rid of all of that slack and it sits nicely on the ground so nothing can get underneath. I'm going to add more screws so that it holds this spot, and then from that point on we can just roll up all the way to the top and roll back down when we want it to. So this is part of my redneck plan, okay? I've got these buckles. You take one end, I took the female end here, and then I secured it with a screw and a washer. It feels very sturdy. I put 3 up along here, and I got this idea from the tonneau cover on my pickup, so I'm hoping we can get this to work. So you saw me attach this piece up here, right? And we have a slight discrepancy where we folded that cloth back. It's thicker, so as we rolled it, it got thicker, so we got slightly off in how well this rolled up, but it's still gonna work pretty darn good here. Now I'm gonna take the opposite end, or the opposite buckle, and I'm just gonna go where this one is on the bottom of this beam and attach it the same way. You need to use a washer. Just a screw by itself is not going to work for you. And then you just add your tension however much you need so that it's up here tight. Click it together and we are golden. This worked better than I thought. A little bit redneck, but I call it balling on a budget. So when we want to roll this down, we'll be able to stand up on these couches and reach those buckles. But just come up here, unhook all of them. Remember, there's Velcro on that back wall. Just adjust your tension one way or the other. in a matter of seconds, you've got a full-on mosquito wall and a sunshade. Not too bad, huh? Cool. It actually worked. That rarely happens for me. So on the front wall, we wanted to do like a garage screen so you could walk through it, and it has magnets, which is really cool. Just zips back together magnetically.
We have one predicament here, and I'd love some feedback in the comments below. There's about 1.5 to 2 inch gap below the curtain and above the concrete, and I don't know what to use to fill that gap. It needs to be able to fold back and wrap around the post, so it has to be flexible, but I got to come up with a plan there. Although these magnetic mosquito nets are really cool, they're extremely cheaply made, borderline junk, so I went and put screws in all along the Velcro that they came with to securely fasten them. I'm not overly impressed with the material quality of it, so I reinforced it in as many spots as possible, but I do think they are going to keep the mosquitoes out, which is a win. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.